Good morning, everyone. Dr. Ferris with American Heritage College. Welcome to another session of the Professional Mindset Series. I am honored today to have a colleague and friend of mine, Miss Danielle McGee, that I get the lovely chance to work with all the time. And we're going to obviously be talking about what? Professional mindset, right? That's what we do on this show. So, what I'd like to do, Miss McGee, if you wouldn't mind, why don't you share before we go into your mindset, just a little bit about you so the audience gets to know who you are?
Okay, well, like you said, my name is Danielle McGee, and I currently serve American Heritage as the Vice President of the Global Institute of Technology. And I've actually been in the tech field for a little over 17 years. My tech background is more geared towards education, although I've served in several realms of IT. My main focus has been education. I think that's one of my whys. I do a lot of things that I do with the focus of students in mind, whether that be K through 12 or post secondary students. I've always been a continuous learner, and that's actually where I started my professional career. Being out of high school, I started as a student worker for a department at Mississippi State University called continuing education. So there, it kind of set the mindset to always continue to grow and learn new experiences and different things like that, because what they provided was things that you could learn after you finish that degree, or things that you could learn outside of the educational focuses that they had. So I think that kind of started my initial professional idea of always continuing to enhance the things that I knew or things I wanted to know. They had everything from cake baking to asbestos courses. So there was an unlimited amount of resources as far as information there. So I've I've been in the field for a while, and I can't say I'm disappointed. I actually switched majors from industrial engineering during my the end of my junior year. I was getting ready to have my son then, and I switched majors to an IT field. I was like, I want to go into something that's similar, and I can't say I've been disappointed. With technology, if you know anything about it, it changes constantly. So I don't have time to get bored. I've been telling people since the pandemic hit. I don't think I've really had a time to slow down yet. So
Well, thank you for that. And I have to share with you in the audience that I'll tell you, Miss Danielle, as you guys can see by her background, has a very bright personality. Uh, Compared to mine, as you can see, I have this lovely stoic, or as she called it, masculine walls
I love your
here. So
masculine vibe there.
I guess we're both going with that vibe that matches our styles, right? So that's very awesome. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for that introduction of yourself. I appreciate you, as you know. What I would like to do is I would like to ask you what is your definition of the professional mindset?
Okay, well, professional mindset is it's not always a term with a straightforward definition. As
Hmm.
professionals, we tend to, be able to recognize it when we see it in action, but sometimes we may not be able to articulate exactly what that term means. So for many, what having a professional mindset means is being able to take that very best part in your particular field, and making sure that you can show up as your very best every day. So, in a shorter definition, to me, the professional mindset means being able to maintain your focus on track one, no matter what's happening on track two.
Hmm.
So, in other words, a professional doesn't react emotionally to their successes or their failures.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
a lot of times that means you have to look at things through a number of different lenses, so you're able to take on different perspectives. But that's in short what having a professional mindset means to me. I mean,
Yeah.
do you,
Okay.
do you have any add-ons that you can
No,
add
I
in to
think
me?
you're right. And as we've continued to do this series, one of the things we've found from everyone is you're right. There is no true definition. When we think about our personal mindset, we can tend to define and design it a little bit more.
Hmm.
But I think that even for myself, as I've shared on many of our boot camps and even in our personal meetings together, it is exactly in my mind what you just said.
Hmm.
It's that ability to understand what's going on, act positively, or even in the sense of if you start to lose your sense of composure, you have the ability to bring it back.
Absolutely.
And it can be very difficult sometimes because in the heat of the moment, we're human and we just have to be able to learn to find that way. And that's why I like to talk about this with people.
Hmm.
I want everyone to know out there that there is no true definition. And you know what? That's okay.
Absolutely.
A
Absolutely.
person has to find his or her definition, I think.
Hmm.
Once they can find that, once they can figure out how to get back to being the professional, then I think their mindset is there. And
Absolutely.
that's for me, right? So that's what I had to find. You know, if you've ever listened to podcasts of individuals that might be successful, and I'm not talking monetarily. Everybody, when we hear the word successful, everybody automatically thinks, oh, you're talking about billionaires and
And that's
billionaires.
not it.
No, no. That's a person that's happy to me,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
That.
And so that's kind of why I love having people like you on the show because we can talk about that and we can just be honest and open and find out how you look at it. So what I'd like
And
to ask you, yeah, go ahead,
I was gonna say I
please.
like that 3 by 3 example you've given in several of our presentations. So you're gonna have to share
Yes.
that with some of our viewers one day. I don't know if you need to do your own little 5 minute.
Yeah, no, thank you because you know what, that is right. I think I've talked about it one time on the show, but
Uh,
I will probably have to revisit it at some point because you're right. It seems to work for me, tends to work for me.
it actually
So,
does. I've tried it. I've actually tried it on my own. I was like, let me try this out and see if this actually works. And it kind of refocuses you so that you're not taken off guard when different situations come. Like I was
yeah.
saying earlier, you stay on track one, no matter what's happening on track two, and use those professional and personal experiences, to adequately prepare you for anything that may come your way. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
good add in, Doc.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Oh, goodness. Um, how has a professional mindset played a part in your career for you?
Believe that, like I was saying earlier, as a professional knowledge broker, I feel that my years of professional and personal experience, not just professional and not just personal, a mix
Mhm.
of both, and my expertise in the field of technology has really prepared me to be able to pour more knowledge into others because, like I told you earlier, a lot of the things that I do, my whys is centered around those that I'm pouring into. So
Mhm.
being able to pour knowledge and positivity into others' lives and, overall their well-being as a person and trying to help them succeed. I think
Mhm.
that having that professional mindset has allowed me to show others, hey, this is what you can get done and this is how you can help others once you have your mindset together.
Beautiful.
And it's difficult at first,
Yeah.
and I reveal that when I'm showing or talking to others. It's difficult to change your mindset when you're used to thinking
Mhm.
a certain way. But I
Yes.
promise you, it's so much better when you're able to focus.
You know, and it's interesting you say that because that's the other piece that continues to come up. One of our other colleagues and another individual I've interviewed on the series, to them, the mindset is that growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. And that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
And, you
I think.
know, I'm glad that started to come into the picture.
Hmm.
I'm glad we're able to talk about things like this. You know, to be honest with you, as you just kind of alluded to, for me, when it's taken almost into my 40s to find this,
Hmm.
that can be a
It,
little
it's
scary.
not an easy feat at
It
all.
Absolutely, it's not. And I don't think that people realize, again, we're not all the same.
Hmm.
We don't all have the same, and I'm not playing a victim card here when I say this, but we don't all have the same upbringing, background. There are different things that, again, could have affected our ability to have, again, the personal professional mindset
Hmm.
and the business professional mindset,
Absolutely. I don't know if
right?
you remember me saying in one of our sessions, I said each and every person on earth needs an IEP, which is an individualized,
Yes.
education plan, because we all learn different. We all have different experiences. We've all had different perspectives on different situations that we've gone through, like you just stated. So I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, and Dr. Sloan, Mindy, has the same philosophy as us, and I completely agree with you guys on that. So, maybe some educators out there will listen in on this, and maybe they'll, maybe there's a good idea there that we've got to look
Hopefully,
at.
hopefully so.
Hopefully so, right? But again, that's what the New Learning Academy is trying to do, is disrupt the education process, right?
Hey, it
So
needs to be shaken up a little bit.
shake it up. That's right. That's funny you say that. Um, so what is something that in the technology industry, that owners have to deal with that they want to fix?
There are a number of things. Some of those top issues that are in the IT or the information technology field today include things such as infrastructure. Since we're going through, well, we're hopefully coming on out of this pandemic, you have a lot of businesses that are dealing with the issue of staying relevant also. So they're having to pivot over to where they're normally a brick and mortar type business to being able to pivot over to something that's more tech based, or even everything is pretty much offered online. So that's where that infrastructure is going to come into play, as far as making sure that they have the right security set up, or making sure that they have systems set up for disaster recovery. Because, hey, what happens when you have a small town courthouse and you have thousands of records that need to be retrieved? We can't really depend on the pencil and paper method anymore. We
No.
have to be able to set up those disaster recovery methods and set up technology integration. A lot of us deal with SaaS, or software as a service, where we set up different APIs and different things like that, so that we can use these databases that we're building and putting information in to push it out to other different programs that may deem useful for our businesses or our schools or other educational organizations and different things like that.
Yeah.
I can go on. I mean, the workload, those are some issues that they're dealing with, because with technology, especially now, people have access to you almost 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that we put in those, I'm trying to find the right word for it, put in some professional development to teach people how to know how to have a balance,
Yes.
because that can really play on some SEL issues for adults as well, not just the children. Because, I mean, it builds anxiety, it builds stressors and different things like that. Feeling like, hey, I have to answer this email, even though it's coming in at 12:39 a.m.
Yes.
I have to reply to this email. So we have to be able to add in all variants. When we're talking about IT, I know a lot of times we just want to talk about the technical parts, the devices, and different things like that. But there's so much more that surrounds technology other than the actual tool itself.
Yes.
So there's the skills gap that some people may still have. You have the cybersecurity issues, those digital transformation issues, cloud computing,
Hmm.
hiring qualified and dedicated staff, because you may get qualified staff, but maybe they're not dedicated to going the long haul. They just want something quick to earn a few quick dollars, because that's something about IT. You technically, kids are pretty much learning everything they need to learn over YouTube. So they'll get a
Hmm.
quick job just to earn some quick cash. So being able to keep that that staff and all those different things. So there's a lot of things that go into the issues of IT, but those
Yeah.
are a few of them that I
Those
could.
are a few, you're right. And of course, I know there are going to be some that are listening to the show saying, well, what does that have to do with the mindset? But it has a lot. You just mentioned one of the major things is, again, living in a world of 24/7,
Hmm.
especially if you're working in the tech field, you have to understand how to be able to shut that off,
And it's
right?
hard.
It's
Hard.
very hard. I found myself doing it the other evening, 3 o'clock in the morning, something came in. I heard the phone go off. And, that was my fault because I didn't have my do not disturb on my phone turned on,
Hmm.
which, by the way, for those of you out there that don't know that, you do have that function on your phone. If you don't have a positive mindset, you're not going to be able to be very helpful in the tech field. And as Danielle mentioned, that's very important these days.
Hmm.
Give yourself a break, right? And
Absolutely.
how would you suggest that, Miss Danielle, when it comes to working in the field and all of that great information you just shared? What are some tools you've been able to incorporate to give yourself that break from the technology?
I think some of the minor things that I've been able to do as far as being able to adjust to that is being able to step back and just create balance.
Hmm.
I had to realize I'm not going to be able to answer each and every question each and every time.
Hmm.
I just have to be able to perform my best when I can, and
Yes.
and just form some type of balance. Now, one thing I did incorporate after we started talking was utilizing that do not disturb function, because I would normally keep my phone on. If it buzzed, I was grabbing it. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm replying back to the email
Yes.
ASAP, especially now because people's their anxiety level has heightened a bit, or it
Yes.
was initially. I think
Hmm.
everybody's kind of on the decline right now, but when this initially started and people were I don't know if it was fear of what was going on or whatever, but everyone was nervous about how do I use this, or what do I do with this, or can you help me create this? And I felt like I had to reply within
Yes.
at least within 30 minutes or so. But I
Hmm.
had to realize, if I burn out, what can I pour into? And
Yeah.
that's my main why. Remember, my main why is being able to pour knowledge and positivity into others. So if I burn out and I'm done, what's left for me to give? So
Yeah.
there has to be a balance. It's almost like a plant. You can't you can't go without watering that plant,
Hmm.
so you have to have that balance.
Yeah. That was great. Thank you for that analogy because, you just reminded me I have a plant that looking pretty rough today. I have to water. So
Is it
thank
still
you for
living?
that. See, it's still alive, but no, thank you for that. And I think you're exactly correct. And I think it also leads to when we do that, not only are we affecting ourselves,
Hmm.
right? Whether it be mentally, physically, whatever,
Right.
we're setting an expectation for other human beings because again, people then expect us.
Hmm.
Um,
I had
I'm
to
going to
learn
use
that.
an example. So very interestingly, and then we'll wrap it up here shortly. But
Okay.
very interestingly, I had worked for a school, and I was finding myself putting 4 days a week where I was putting in 12 to 14-hour days. Can you imagine? 12 to 14-hour days. And the worst part about it was this: within the first week of me doing that, it almost became expected, right? So for me, I think there was two negatives. One, I was stressed to the max. I was
That right there.
unproductive. I was unable to get anything done.
That's what I was just
Nothing.
about to say.
Nothing. But it's because up here, and I wasn't realizing it at the time.
Hmm.
Up here, I was just done, right?
And see, that can spill over into what I was talking about earlier, those stressors and anxiety and different things like that. And like you said, once you get to that point, you're not doing anything. So what good are you when you're not able to produce or provide what you're trying to provide if you're
Yeah,
burnt out.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, hopefully the information obviously we've talked about today and some of the other interviewees I've had on the show so far have been of some help to people. That's
Hmm.
my hope. You know, even if it's one, right? That's how we make a
Right,
difference.
just
We
one.
start with one, right? I love it. I love it. So obviously I want to get the show wrapped up today because, you know, you are a very busy lady and I want to allow you to get to the things you need to. But I did
I'm
want to
never too
ask you,
busy
is
for
there
you, Doc.
anything, what's that?
I'm never too busy for you.
Oh, see, now you're making me blush. Now that's not going to match the background. Come on. We can't see color in the
It
cheeks.
matches my pink donuts with
It
sprinkles.
does, which that I do want pink donuts this morning now. Thank you for that. So, and I'm trying not to eat those. You know that, right? So,
I
anyway.
try not to eat my heavy breakfast either. My heavy Southern breakfast.
Oh.
I didn't
Speaking
want
of
to.
it, I'm sorry, people, we're off topic, but this is the world we live in. You guys have to allow it because this is
You
our.
have to pivot.
I had grits the other day. Oh my goodness gracious, and yum, filling and great, right?
Hey,
See,
it gets
see.
no better. I had them yesterday, so it gets no better than that. And
There
a
we
good.
go. That's right. That's right. All right. Well, enough about food because you're making me even hungrier now. Let me ask you though, while we wrap up, what's some information? What's one last thing you would like to share? Anything that you would like to share for the guests out there?
I'm so passionate about IT. I just want to be able to continue using my gifts and knowledge of technology to assist others in using it efficiently and effectively. I
Hmm.
truly enjoy being able to create beautiful and efficient digital products. And I'm hoping that our programs that we're going to be offering with the Global Institute of Technology will help others in being able to do so as well. One of the focuses when I started working with our assistant vice president, which is Christy Akins, and she's an awesome, awesome person. One of the main focuses was being able to offer an array of different things within the
Right.
technology realm. So I wanted to offer something for those in education, so some of those in the financial platform as far as fintech, some of
Mhm.
those in the healthcare field as far as health tech, because these are all fields that are being affected right now, especially cybersecurity and IT risk management and different things like that, being able to pivot your organization from being an on-premise or flat running operation to something that's um, able to be virtualized. So hopefully some of the programs that we're offering will kind of help that industry grow a bit. So
Mhm.
hopefully we can get a lot of registrants to check us out.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, you're saying hopefully, and then from my perspective, on a positive mindset perspective, we will. They will,
There
right?
you go. There you go.
Yes. And if anybody wants more information or would like it, they can go to AmericanHeritageCollege.com, or you can go to watch any of these videos or to get more ideas. You can go to our YouTube page or Facebook page. Just type in American Heritage College. We're right there for you. We hope that today's session, series, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you out there. Okay. We hope that you've enjoyed it and we look forward to continuing it with you and helping you. So, Miss Danielle, thank you so much. It's been a
Thank you,
pleasure
Doc.
having you here
I've
today.
enjoyed my morning with you.
Yay. I love it. I love it. All right, everyone. Have an excellent day, morning, evening, regardless where you are around the world.